We must also realize that the problems of racial injustice and economic injustice cannot be solved without a radical redistribution of political and economic power. We read one day, we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. But if a man doesn't have a job or an income, he has neither life nor liberty and the possibility for the pursuit of happiness. He merely exists.
Class is in session yet again. When we starting off class with a couple of Martin Luther King Jr. quotes in observance. Excuse me, people. In observance of Martin Luther King Day yesterday, MLK Day, which another pretty big day for basketball in the NBA. But as much shit went on, and as many jokes get made about Martin Luther King every time it come around, and how they have club flyers for MLK Day sets, and they saw Martin Luther King throwing money on some hoes. I saw Martin Luther King pose next to a Bentley, or I saw Martin Luther King dunking a basketball on the on flyers and shit. I definitely just given my background, and me being from Memphis and having the National Civil Rights Museum being in Memphis, and you grow up and you go on 25 field trips to that building before the age of 10 and shit. I look at it a little bit differently. I know it's not even cool to take shit seriously in 2018, this day and age, but that man and his teachings, beyond the symbolism of it all, what his death meant, what his assassination meant, and what him ultimately getting his own day, all means. Beyond that, his teachings were so powerful, so intelligent, and I do think that we, as a culture, being that the hoopcasters of the culture and shit directly fuck the numbers of the culture, the culture does not take that man seriously enough. I even heard him say some amazing things, some incredibly smart things, some incredibly well thought out things beyond those 3 clips that I just played. And the one thing I would recommend, because after all, this is a basketball podcast, and I got to get to the basketball soon. But if you want to take this a step further beyond this intro, check out A Dream to a Nightmare, the full Martin Luther King interview with Sandra Vancour from 1968. So I'll leave y'all with that. But welcome to another edition of the Heezy Hoopcast, powered by AnimalHeezy.com. Please visit AnimalHeezy.com at your earliest convenience and invite yourself to betterness. At this time, got to give a memorial shout out. R.I.P. to my big homie Kahuna, my homie Ray Jugoku. R.I.P. my pops. R.I.P. Martin Luther King Jr., man. We're doing it straight like this. There was a lot of games on last night. If Christmas Day for the NBA is like Christmas dinner, then I think MLK Day is like the green bean casserole of NBA games, because it's like Yeah, it's kind of easy to pass up on a lot of this shit, but if you really into that sort of shit, you know what I'm saying? You like pass the green bean casserole, because God knows I am. But um, only two of the games I think were televised. I think that was Warriors and Cavs, and Clippers and Rockets. So I, in the interest of full disclosure, have to admit that I fell asleep in like the first damn quarter of that Warriors Rockets game. Oh, it was so bad, man. I had the screen set up in front of me, streaming it off of the TNT app. The stream was kind of like struggling at first, then it finally got to working. So I'm just laying down looking at it, and before I know it, I'm waking up about 4 in the morning. I get up early every day, but you know what I'm saying, I don't get up at 4 every day, but I was up at 4, and I'm, just by habit of modern human nature, I go check my Twitter to see, you know what I'm saying, what I missed, man. Who said something? How them games went last night. Like, I always love to check the Hoopcast Twitter feed, because I get every highlight and every quote and all that shit that mattered. So I'm checking that shit out. And I see some shit about the Rockets and the Clippers getting into it. And like, everybody already know, man, I'm here for this shit with my sports, man. I like chippiness in my sports. You know, it's like, eating barbecue with a little extra spice, with a little extra kick to it or some shit. You know what I'm saying? And niggas love they spices and shit. So you ought to be able to understand where I'm coming from. So I'm like, oh shit. And then so, apparently this is how I'm putting the story together and shit as it's coming to me. I'm seeing that niggas from Houston went over to the Clippers locker room, and Chris Paul helped them with a secret passageway and shit. And I'm like, oh my God, this is so 2018 NBA, man. I wonder if things like this used to happen during the 70s and the 80s, and niggas would get into it. Is Chris Paul the first player to ever be traded from the Clippers to another team, then comes back and gets into it with that team and knows about the secret passageway? Has this happened already and we didn't just have the social media coverage to be made aware that that shit happened? Or is this really 2018 as fuck, where, people is really devising Scooby-Doo plans and shit, like, all right, you go distract them, and then we gonna come around through the back door? And I'm like, like, what the fuck? What the fuck? It's so 2018, though. But hey, man, if it's real, let's pretend it's 100% real and shit, and not just either A, fake news, or B, something that happened but was sensationalized to the point that it doesn't even resemble its original self and resemble something hideous enough for us to all laugh and point at. Let's pretend it was 100% real. Them niggas got real beef, and this shit spilled into the locker rooms and shit. Okay, I like it. I like this shit, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like, as much as, some shit Jalen Rose talking, most people talk about, man, these basketball players really ain't gonna fight, really ain't gonna do nothing. I don't know if those guys are really prepared to do something by going to the Clippers locker room, but if they were, man, I like it. Shit, people always talking about they ain't gonna fight, hold me back. And nigga might brought it straight to these niggas dough, nigga. They ain't thumb thugging, nigga. They brought it straight to a nigga dough. Chris Paul kind of wildin' though, because I forgot, actually, I was reminded by all of these sports segments this morning that this nigga is the president of the Players Association. And I don't know if, as the president of the Players Association, the best move you could make is going over to the Clippers locker room, especially once everybody is gonna trace the fingerprints right back to you being the only person that used to play for the Clippers and shit. But yeah, so I mean, it started in game. Apparently, like, cause I saw the highlights, I thought it was just a chippy game all over and shit. Apparently, it happened in the fourth quarter. Like, all this shit just finally bubbled over in the fourth quarter and shit. Like, regular boring, not boring, but regular pedestrian game shit for 3 quarters, fourth quarter. Niggas started going into it. Shit, I saw, nigga. I saw, shit, nigga, Blake Griffin, was trying to save a ball from going out of bounds, and he did the little thing that we all learned as kids when we playing basketball, that if you try to save a ball as it's going out of bounds, you could throw it off a member of the opposing team, and therefore the out will be called on them. So he tried to utilize that tactic. Instead, you usually throw it at people's feet or something, throw it at their leg or something. He throws it high off Eric Gordon's back. And I'm like, oh, shit, nigga, this shit. Like, say what you want about Blake Griffin, but shit just got real, nigga, when some shit like that happens. Then they showed it in slow motion, and in slow motion, this nigga, like, low-key looked like Vegeta trying to throw a blast at Frieza, you know what I'm saying? How high and how hard he threw it, nigga. And, Blake Griffin took a charge on Clint Capella, and as Blake went down, taking the charge, he kind of trips up Clint Capella. Then he's running on a break, fast break, runs over to the sideline, bumps Coach Mike D'Antoni, then muscles his way past like Chris Paul and I think Clint Capella for the and one. Right, D'Antoni's just going off like, this motherfucker hit me. Lee Jenkins of Sports Illustrated reported that a Rocket source said that Austin Rivers caught a glimpse in the locker room area of Trevor Ariza first in the hallway. There he said something like, let his bitch ass in. And man, the Clippers are some motherfuckers. What they said, man, they got it. What you call Patrick Beverly is quoted, said, like, not quoted, but they hopped on Twitter, I think it said, like, there ain't no more of that soft shit in LA. Alright. You talking about the same team with Blake Griffin and Austin Rivers? I guess they got you now on the bench and shit. Nigga, just make sure that none of that soft shit happens. Which I feel like is all a bunch of shots at Chris Paul and shit. I can imagine there being a little bit of bad blood towards Chris Paul and shit after hearing stories that Austin Rivers and Blake then told him about this nigga, and that being the nigga you ultimately lost your good job for and shit to come play for the hopeless, hapless Clippers and shit. Who did get the win over the Rockets last night, but what does this thing niggas have for Chris Paul? I mean, other niggas left to want to win. I mean, that was a situation where niggas just wasn't gonna win and shit. And you could just say bad luck happened. They ran into some roadblocks in the playoffs and shit. But when goddamn Blake Griffin goes out for punching an equipment manager and shit, and we fall in the standings because of stupid shit like that, like, it's starting to extend beyond basketball reasons. Niggas had to go. I mean, shit, Baby Davis had to, you know what I'm saying, was saying, like, look, nigga, that culture ain't shit over there. JJ Redick left and went to the upstart Sixers because he felt like he had a better chance of winning with them than the Clippers. Or a better chance at playing meaningful basketball, I guess I should say. And then, who else left? Shit, Chris Paul left. So, whatever. I don't know what niggas are so mad about. But Tom Haberstroh of ESPN reports that there were 21 fouls, 21 technical fouls issued just last night, 5 ejections, and one ugly ass nigga sleep on it all. Being me. Tom Haberstroh didn't actually report that last part. So now the NBA is about to have an investigation on the situation. I don't know why, you know, but shit, investigate on. I mean, give us some more shit to talk about. And then, you know, the Warriors and the Cavs, the original game that was on, it kind of just got overshadowed by all this shit. It was overshadowed. Bron's performance, Bron getting dunked on and shit. Apparently Migos was at the game. Quavo sitting courtside yelling out, "Fruit roll up!" when Warriors niggas hit layups and shit. Yeah, I guess. Steph gave his shoes to Quavo after the game, which to me begs the question, why are NBA players so compelled to give Quavo their shit? Because on the Hoopcast, another episode I talked about how Dennis Schroeder of the Atlanta Hawks gave his jersey after hitting like 38 points or some shit. In Atlanta, he gave his jersey to Quavo. And I could kind of understand that y'all was playing a pretty meaningless game on a Tuesday and shit, and Quavo's there, and Migos Lil Yachty is there and shit. So if you got a choice between giving your jersey to, you know, Quavo, Lil Yachty, or Offset, then, you know, I can understand how you end up giving it to Quavo. But what is this thing where niggas just get a jersey to Quavo? Like, is Quavo like some, you know, respected basketball fan deity on the low? I don't know. I just noticed a pattern and I just pointed it out. But anywho, Cavs and Warriors, I kind of said before, I be over these games, man. This shit look like more KD versus LeBron, which I can appreciate KD on this scale, on this stage, because his games against LeBron, I think we just then forgot about them all. Them games from OKC and shit. You know, and all the ones we really remember is when them niggas went to the finals against the Heat. But otherwise, those KD versus LeBron moments, you know, if anybody's listening to this and shit, and you remember a classic KD versus Thunder KD versus LeBron game that wasn't in the finals, let me know. But I think, you know, history is beginning to just gloss over this shit. But with his rebirth with the Warriors and shit, and being on the biggest, best stage possible and shit, I think these games and these moments are a lot more amplified now. And I think performances are amplified because LeBron ended with 32 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists. Kevin Durant ended with 32 points, 5 rebounds, 8 assists. Dwayne Wade had some interesting contributions, but his stat line is even more interesting because I think he has found the only team where he can have 10 points, 5 assists, 7 rebounds a lot. And, you know, nobody's wondering, why are we paying this guy again? Well, like those are Rondo and Dallas numbers, nigga. Those numbers that niggas was saying, goddamn, Rondo was over when they wasn't even watching the game, just looking at the numbers and shit like, oh no, this kid is over. So, you know, but it's good that he's humble like that. It's good that he's accepted a role that Melo seems to be refusing to accept. Star caliber championship even players refuse to accept. You know what I'm saying? Dirk still ain't coming off the bench in Dallas. Kobe refused to come off the bench. Kobe wasn't going to come off the bench. So you see a lot of these players that just don't really age and evolve internally in that way to be a solid role player off the bench after being great, after being all-star caliber and winning even 3 championships in Dwayne Wade's case. So, but all in all, man, I'm fed up with this Warriors and Cavs shit, man. Like, get them out of here, man. I mean, for LeBron James to be the best player in the world and to have been so for about 10 years, and the Warriors to be this team of bitch-ass niggas, in my best Dave Chappelle voice, that niggas like to get on to and act like they not even all that good or not all that. Man, this shit is getting extremely lopsided, and I'm getting tired of seeing LeBron teams get smacked by this Golden State team. I want to see a new, most dominant team who probably ultimately won't pose a threat to the Warriors get dominated by the Warriors. I need to see a new team do that, nigga. I need to see new players do that. I need to see new bad blood. These niggas been beefing so long and shit that they done passed it up and became friends and shit and just play friendly ass, highly competitive games. Fuck all of that. Fuck it all to hell. I need a new, shit, the Warriors even beat the Cavs on MLK Day exactly 2 years ago. You know what I'm saying? They whooping these niggas Christmas games. They whooping these niggas. For LeBron to be the best player in the league, man, like he has been staring this roadblock in the face way longer than Michael Jordan was staring at the Pistons or the whoever the fuck else. You know what I mean? But anywho, so other shit, man. Bunch of games on last night. More games than even Christmas and shit. There's a whole lot of green bean casserole last night, but like I said, only two of the games were nationally televised. So the Hornets beat the Pistons 118-107. The Bucks beat the Wizards 104-95, which, is a low-key statement for the Bucks. Knicks, of course, beat the Nets 119-104. The Grizzlies, Memphis Grizzlies. Grit and grind city. Grizzlies practiced total nonviolence against the Lakers, beating the Lakers like MLK was in the front row, his motherfucking self. 123-114 in the Grizzlies MLK Day uniforms, which totally should have been all black instead of all white. For obvious reasons that I won't name, and for less obvious reasons that I will name, being that, shit, nigga, I can't buy a white jersey. But if it was black, nigga, and it was the MLK Day jersey, nigga, well, shit, that is just enough significant context for me to just cop some shit, nigga. Because, quick sidebar, like, I like shit just because the silhouette is fresh, like jackets, shoes, hats. Like, I just like, the dope aesthetics to it and shit like that. But anytime, something has a story behind it, anytime a shoe or a jersey has a story behind it and shit, like, I was running around, when LeBron went back to the Cavaliers, I was running around rocking the LeBron James Heat jersey just because, all of these people who had devoted themselves to Heat Nation all of a sudden were kind of left in flux. Like, do I really get caught? Do I really get exposed team jumping, or do I just say, fuck it, I'm a LeBron fan? Either way, you could see the looks on their faces like that. They had to think in this moment about what to do next. So I kind of had the LeBron Miami Heat jersey after he went back to the Cavs to kind of just, be an asshole and shit like that, because there's a story behind it. So I rock Penny Hardaways and shit. They got the Tennessee on the inside of the on the insoles and shit. They got the little Tennessee map on it and everything. And he's from Memphis. So I don't rock J's because I'm from Memphis. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather rock pennies. I'd rather show that support to Memphis. I got a statement on my feet when I rock them. So to have, for them to have like MLK Day jerseys, and for MLK Day to mean something a little bit different in Memphis than it means whoever it means wherever else the team that they're playing on that night is from. I would have loved to have rocked MLK Day jersey in these times, in this climate, and it say Memphis on it, and it be black. You know what I mean? But the Grizzlies actually scored the most points last night on MLK Day. All on the night where the Warriors, Cavs, and Rockets all played. But after all, they did have the Lakers defending them, so somebody was bound to set a record. I just had the Lakers defending them just defensively. I ain't saying the Lakers just totally ain't shit. I can't wait to see the Lakers grow some more. But, you know, when you have them playing defense on you and you actually know what you're doing. But, yeah, the process completed. 76ers edged out the Raptors in Philly, 117-111. Hawks beat the Spurs in Atlanta, but you couldn't have paid me an OG Bitcoin stock to ever watch that game. I don't even know the score. Fuck them. The new Zach LaVine Bulls beat the Heat 119-111. Thunder beat the Kings 95-88, but who gives a shit? I really need to see De'Aaron Fox play some more though. And the Pacers beat the Jazz 109-94 in a game I honestly could have watched about 3/4 of and shit. You know, at least 3/4 of. So it's like one of them like, you know, matchup basketball X's and O's type game, like where you ain't gonna see no huge stars in this game, but you see two well put together teams facing off against each other and shit. So, and then the last bit of news I just thought I'd throw in this motherfucker. I saw Kobe is coming out with a new basketball analysis show called Detail. I, for one, am excited about this show. I'm already a fan of Kobe Inc., Kobe Incorporated. Everything Kobe done did since retiring, you know, from the Muse Cage shit to all of his little media ventures, all of his different little quirky ways to put his basketball prowess into the forefront in the form of entertainment. I think he's done an excellent job with that. And Kobe is a real weird ass nigga. Like, he's doing real weird ass things. And I think this show, Detail, will be. Is it called Detail? Wait, let me look back at this shit. I'm tripping already. Yes, Detail. I think with this show, he's gonna continue to do weird, quirky, entertaining things. But the simple fact that he has amassed all of this basketball knowledge by having the capacity for it at a young age to just max out on fundamentals and maximize his understanding of every aspect of the game. Then you compound that with 20 years of NBA experience, high level experience, low level experience, and I for one am glad that he's not taking all of this knowledge, because he's at this point just this exponentially vast repository of basketball knowledge. I'm glad he didn't take it with him and just ride off into the sunset. I'm glad that he knows that there aren't very many people that understand the game of basketball on a Kobe Bryant level and is not hoarding that. He didn't take it with him and just get quiet. He's giving it back to us, not only in context of how he used to do it, but the way the game actually is. Because everybody who listens to this knows that I enjoy the way they let former players of every caliber, you know, strong contributing role players to stars, to superstars, to legends. They consult them about the game. Like, media consults them about the game. And of course, always lets them add their 2 cents. But the thing about those people when they add their 2 cents is that it's usually coming from a place of how we used to do it back in the day. And Kobe is this, first off, weird enigma of a player who is old school and, you know, by virtue of when he actually retired, new school at the same time. He exists across like 3 different generations of basketball. And he might have some of his old ideas, but he has been in the game recently enough to understand how it's changed, what it's changed to, and how it works using this vast repository of basketball knowledge and understanding. So he gives it to us like when he did the Golden Democracy. If you haven't seen this shit and you a basketball fan, go check out the Golden Democracy on YouTube, where Kobe breaks down how the Warriors beat the Cavs in a entertaining ass, super dumb it down for regular ass people. I think even the most casual of basketball fans can understand how he broke this down, but broke down the X's and O's of why Golden State is so unstoppable and why Cleveland didn't even really have a chance. So, all in all, man, I'm excited to see this detailed shit. Kobe a fucking weirdo. There's nobody else like Kobe. But on the bright side of that, there's nobody else like Kobe. So I look forward to this detailed show, and I look forward to the rest of this season, and I'm looking forward to covering and reporting on the most exciting, the most dynamic, the most nuanced, the most tree branch splitting off into in this ass game, dare I say, ever. Maybe it's time for me to go do my research and find a game in a time period that was ever more exciting and drama filled and skill filled and well produced as this game is today. This has been another edition of the Heezy Hoopcast. Visit animalheezy.com. I'm BreadVsYoga. I'm supposed to be having a few guests on in the near future. I won't announce any of them, because in this space it's definitely hard. You know what I'm saying? If you ain't got that corporate check behind you and shit, and you ain't an opportunity that niggas can't afford to not miss or don't feel like they can't miss, it's a little bit hard securing shit. But whenever I do get guests on here, though, I always get great guests, and I always get some great shit out of them and some great perspective out of them. So I got a few guests lined up for Wednesday, Friday, and next Monday, I think. So I'm gonna shoot my shot and just hope I could go 3 for 3 or however many I shoot. So I'm excited about that as well. So animalheezy.com. This is H Hoopcast on Twitter. HHOOPCAST on the Twitter. Out of there.
We must also realize that the problems of racial injustice and economic injustice cannot be solved without a radical redistribution of political and economic power.